Hello, everybody, and welcome to BC Buckets. I'm Matthew Brune. Joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, today we have a fun episode where we are ranking the top 10 shooters in the NBA draft. And this was a fairly difficult exercise here. We have different lists, so we're going to go through them. We'll show them on the screen for YouTube, our YouTube audience as well. Did anything surprise you before we get into it?
Having not done a top 10 of NBA draft prospects before, I didn't think it would be so hard to differentiate between, I didn't think between 1 and 10 would be so stark in terms of not necessarily the shooting percentages, but just because I was looking at my list as like how dynamic is a player shooting from three and things like that. And I didn't think the list would be so much different like it is in my head. Same with defending, I guess.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to show it on the screen. Here we are. Mine's on the left, Colin's on the right. Both have Reed Shepherd, number one.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy. 52% from three, it kind of automatically puts you there. And then when you take into account how he's doing it at 8 threes a game and making your team's offensive rating basically 130, yeah, there's not even a competition.
No, and I think like off the dribble, he's fine too. Like I don't have a concern for that. Pull up jumpers, he's awesome. Now, number two, I have Jared McCain. You have Dalton Connect.
That's interesting.
We have 2 and 5 switched because I have Connect at 5, you have Connect at 2.
Yeah,
and you have McCain at 5. So we have 2 and 5 flipped. Connect to me is a better scorer than shooter.
It's a better scorer than shooter.
Like he's a great shooter, but I think he's like just an awesome scorer. So like I have him top 10 on my board, but like I don't have him as I have him as the 5th best shooter, not the 2nd best shooter.
But
is that fair?
I mean,
he shot 40% from 3.
But like he was hitting big shots, he was going crazy, movement off the dribble, not really off the dribble, I should say, but movement.
Yeah.
I mean, Jared McCain to me is just, he seems vanilla when I think of his 3-point shooting.
I mean, 41%, has range, awesome release.
Oh, it looks good. It looks great, but
it's kind of, I don't want to say it's subjective, but it is kind of a,
I mean, I get what you're saying. Like when you look, if you're thinking like, oh yeah, this guy's shot looks the best, and it looks pleasing. Like I'd probably go with Jared McCain, but I think in terms of the role that Dalton Connect played on his team and what he did with it. Now I will say that I understand what you're saying with the scorer part, but I think that's kind of because of his shooting, not really because of anything else.
I have Rob Dillingham 3 and Cam Spencer 4. You have Cam Spencer 3, Rob Dillingham 4. I'll just say I'm not mad either way. These are just 2 phenomenal shooters. Now they're very different. Obviously, Rob Dillingham is like a 19-year-old guy with like incredible bounce and like upside off the dribble and stuff. Cam Spencer is mostly a catch and shoot guy, but they're both awesome shooters. Like I think they're both 44% on the year, somewhere around there.
Yeah, Rob was 44, and
I should have Spencer's up.
I don't have any of them in order on my thing, so I'm
sorry. Spencer
was
44% from 3.
Yeah, there you go,
44% from 3. Just elite shooters there. 6, I have Bayless Shireman. You have him at 8. I know we just did a video talking about him, and I have questions about like his range, like if he can really like not 3-point line, like NBA 3-point line, he's fine, but like even a step beyond that, like does the form start to break down when he's contested? Does the form start to break down? But ultimately, like, I mean, he could shoot the hell out the ball. So I love him there. And Antonio Reeves at 6, I don't have a problem with either. Out of Kentucky, 45% from 3, 39% the last 2 years before that.
I didn't even think about this too. Might be worth moving Antonio Reeves down just because he was on a team with Reed Shepherd
and Rob Dillingham.
Yeah.
Three Kentucky boys.
Too much spacing.
Too much. And they couldn't even do anything with it.
Lost in the first round to Oakland. Three of the top.
Oakland went zone, and they had no idea what to do. Like, I can't shoot anymore. Sorry. Reed Shepherd had one of the worst games of his life.
In
And then
hindsight, when you look at this, it's really funny to see that you got Rob Dillingham, Reed Shepard, and Antonio Reeves, and you're like, yeah, three of the best shooters in terms of NBA prospects, and here you are.
losing to John Golke,
Yeah.
who went inferno in the game.
Oakland Golden Bears, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, Antonio Reeves, Baylor Shireman. Now Zachary Risache is interesting here. I have him 8th on mine. You don't
Mhm.
have him on yours. Why not?
I feel like when we were scouting him, his shooting wasn't necessarily a new thing. Like it was something that he's always kind of shown flashes of, but it was nothing that is it wasn't a strength to start the season. And for me,
Yeah.
for his season, and for me to get on board of like top shooters, shot 38%. And in retrospect to everybody else on this list, it's kind of low. I guess 39%. And you're only doing it on less than 4 attempts a game. I wouldn't necessarily call him one of the best shooters in this draft. Not to mean that he won't become a more dynamic shooter than anybody else on this list, but I just don't, as of right now, I don't see him as a guy that I'm going to be like, oh, will I take him over Dalton Connect right now? No, Dalton Connect is going to shoot the ball better than Zachary Risache right now.
And obviously a lot of Risache is like projecting in terms of like why, like, somebody be like, okay, well, you have a number 2 on your board.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think he's going to be a really good shooter
Yeah, like
eventually.
projecting wise, I think he's
Yeah.
gonna be a really good shooter. And
Yeah.
he's 6'9" and can do a lot of things. So, but I think, and I do think there's some credence to it. He had a very streaky season when he played
Mhm.
like 56, 60 games.
Yeah, a lot.
And it had a lot of ups and downs, like a 15 game good stretch, 15 game bad stretch, so on. But overall, like, I think the shooting at this point, I just believe in it to a level where I think
So
he's gonna be
much.
really, really
He better
good.
be going with number 1 for you then.
He's still number 2, holding strong. Number 2, Castle's on his heels, but yes, holding strong. Number
Mm.
2. You have Cam Christie at 7. I have him at 10.
Mhm.
Only shot 39%, which is good, obviously. 5.5 attempts per game. Didn't have a really high usage percentage, so we didn't get to see a lot like off the dribble or anything. Is this a projection, or you think like right now he's better than
I'll just compare him to the who's below on my list, Baylor
Malone?
Shireman. I think when you look at Baylor Shireman versus Cam Christie, the first thing I look at is the form. So obviously, like when we talk about like a Jared McCain, like
Yeah,
that's a really nice looking shot and it's clearly projectable. Whereas you and I, like you said, already kind of have questions of how much further can Baylor Shireman go back? Does the form break down if he's contested? Whereas Cam Christie, I'm not really concerned about any of those things, and he's 4 years younger, and I think his shot form is just further along in that sense. And obviously, his percentages are going to be lower, and he's not hitting the volume that Shireman has. But I think that's more of an age thing and an experience thing than it is a shooting thing.
yeah. I have Keyshawn George, number 9. I just completely believe that he's a very, very, very good shooter.
I
Shot
can't believe you believe
40%
that.
on a lot of different looks, off the dribble looks, off the catch, deep range. Talk about range. Like, this guy has range for days. So I like Keyshawn George a lot as one of the top 10 shooters in this class. You're shaking your head. You don't.
I mean, like, yeah, shot 40%, 36% pull up threes, like good numbers. It's just I can't get behind it translating the NBA just because I don't think he has anything else.
Tristan Da Silva is your number 9.
He is my number
Oh,
9.
both Colorado boys, Da Silva and Simpson. So I'll let
Oh
you
yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that.
take the floor.
Yeah, Tristan Da Silva, love Tristan Da Silva. We talked about it whenever we did our draft video. I think he's my Jaime Jaquez of this year's draft because I loved Jaime Jaquez so much in last year's draft. His shot looks great. He's able to do it off the move, off the catch, kind of able to do some type of pull up stuff. I just felt like he was really solid, and it just with his game looks really good. And if you're converting at 40% on 5 attempts a game, I'm not going to be upset about that.
KJ Simpson.
KJ Simpson's just more like a dog when it comes to how he shoots. Like this dude's able to hit contested shots. I don't have his numbers in front of me. 43% from 3. Obviously, a lot different type of looks than what Tristan Da Silva's getting, and that was on also 5 attempts a game. So incredible shooter.
Yeah, off the dribble for Simpson as well. A lot of stuff. Yeah, and there you go. There's our top 10 shooters of the 2024 NBA draft. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Who do you have? What's your top 10? Who do you think was left off? No Jacoby Walter on here for either of us.
I mean,
He shot 35% from 3. His is a lot
Again,
more projecting, I think.
yeah, I mean, he had the volume, it wasn't coming together for him.
I'll say
Looks good.
this, Tyler Smith is my first honorable mention.
Yeah, he's my first one. He was actually on the list, and I took him off.
God,
So
love Tyler Smith. Only shot 36% from 3, but, like, it's there.
yeah, it
Tell
looks
your
really nice.
friends, buy the stock. Buy the stock now. But yeah, that's all we got for y'all today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will talk to y'all later.